I'm Daniel, and I like to make things. The process always starts with design. To begin, I create a mood board containing the themes I want to include in the artwork. I typically draw inspiration from architecture, plants, and wildlife. I try to organize my ideas by separating similar items into distinct artboards. In this stage, I'm looking for complex shapes, patterns, and color palettes that might work well together. At this point, I switch to sketching out my designs. I find working freeform by hand is a great way to rapidly explore different patterns. In this portion of the process, I'm simply creating a library of abstract shapes that I can reference in conjunction with my mood board later on. I will often produce dozens of these images before moving forward, trying to move quickly to produce as many different options as I can. This part is an especially enjoyable section of the work where I can freely draw without getting hung up on any particular aspect of the design. Having plenty of reference material at my disposal and a clearer idea of what I want to create, I dive into the detailed design. This section is by far the longest, and depending on the artwork can take multiple weeks of full-time work. Once the final design is complete, I check to make sure no design elements are missing before trying out a wide variety of different color palettes. Once I've settled on a combination that I'm happy with, it's time to start making. After selecting pieces of wood that are defect-free, I begin prepping the layers for cutting. The first step to this is carefully sanding each layer to a smooth finish. With the first stage of sanding complete, I apply a pre-stain conditioner to the wood. This prevents blotchiness during the staining process and ensures a clean, consistent layer of color later on. The pre-stain conditioner raises the wood grain and makes the surface rough. So once dry, I sand the wood once again before applying color. Each layer is then stained with a water-based wood stain, applying multiple coats to achieve deep and rich colors. The use of stain rather than paints allows me to showcase the natural wood grain in the final artwork. After letting the wood dry, I carefully sand the surface one last time by hand using a fine grit sandpaper. To keep the surface of the wood clean during cutting, I then mask each layer of wood with paper transfer tape before sanding it off to the laser cutter. While this process adds a significant amount of manufacturing time in needing to peel away intricate pieces of tape at the end, it's necessary to prevent burn marks and preserves the original stain color. Each piece of wood is then individually loaded into a laser cutter that will trace my design patterns. Depending on the intricacy of the layer, this can take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours. Several factors such as laser settings and variations in each piece of wood can affect cutting performance, causing some layers to require extra cleanup using a small craft knife. With the layer fully cut out, I remove the masking tape to reveal a clean layer. This process varies greatly in length and can take up to 40 minutes for highly detailed layers of this size. Now we're ready for glue up. A custom jig allows me to perfectly align each layer and apply even clamping pressure. After unclamping and removing the artwork from the jig 24 hours later, the layers have bonded into a single, strong block. The wooden dowels added to increase the artwork's strength and longevity are then removed and sanded down, leaving a smooth, flush surface on the back of the artwork. The final step is to spray the artwork with a clear coating. This serves to protect the surface of the artwork against scratches and helps to seal the wood from the elements. It also adds a professional sheen to the piece. I start by spraying the back of the artworks, then seal the sides, and finally turn it over to spray the top. I use multiple coats to ensure consistent and even coverage across each piece. With the piece fully made, it can be easily hung on any wall using the French cleat system designed into the back of the artwork and a nail, screw, or hook. Most of my pieces can be hung in multiple orientations to suit the surrounding living space. Thank you so much for watching. I love what I do and ensure that each artwork is individually crafted with care and attention to detail. If this video interested you, please be sure to check out my store to grab one of my artworks for your home.